Thank you for joining us on our journey through the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Infinity Saga. Starting with Iron Man and ending with Spider-Man Far From Home, this podcast will contain spoilers for any of the films in the saga. This is your one and only spoiler warning for all of those films. Our goal is to discuss the plot of the movie we're currently watching, but it's almost impossible to talk about these great movies without bringing up what makes the others so great. Consider this your one and only spoiler warning for any of the movies in MCU's Infinity Saga. If you have any desire to see those movies, which you should, they're amazing, before hearing of the opinions of two regular Dans in their 30s and 40s, leave now and go watch them. They're great. Then come back here and listen to our take, because we have a lot of great and interesting takes. This is also your one and only adult content warning. This podcast will contain mature language and adult situations. Our goal is never to offend or alienate. We believe that there can be comedy in everything, and everything should be discussed with an open mind. So please take anything we say with a grain of salt. Thanks for listening.
Good, pointed, locked. Ready to light, chef.
Pointed and locked. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
How are you doing?
Oh, good.
That's good. I'm happy to hear it. This is Discussing Dan's. It's also Entertainment and You. I gotta figure out I gotta segue that intro better, because I say this is Discussing Dan's, and then I also say, I actually wrote it out. Discussing Dan's presents Entertainment and You. Okay,
all right, edit all that out.
We're gonna get rid of all that and get the good. So here's the good one. Discussing Dan's presents Entertainment and You. How pop culture shapes your world. Mission statement.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Our mission statement is to keep a vague and open dialogue about how science fiction has affected pop culture as viewed through the eyes of two Dans in their 30s and 40s. No topic is too off topic, and no opinion is wrong. I like how we say that at the beginning, but then we give ourselves shit for getting off topic. Like, it happens every time. I've been doing a lot more editing and re-listening.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty good at tangents. It's one of my specialties.
There's a couple of trackers that we've just not been tracking. Like, I just listened to one, and I'll get to the title of the one we're doing in a minute. I know we said we're kind of crunched for time on this one, but I'm going on a tangent now. You wanted to keep track of Tony's pants. You said you thought that his fashion sense was moving towards bell bottoms. Yeah, so.
Well, it's just the bottom of his leg is wider than most. I don't want to say it's like, I don't want to say it's verging on bell bottoms, but it is more fabric there. I don't know. Like, I would call it a wide bottom.
Well, I'll keep an eye on that in future movies, because he's definitely not done with this one. But the one we're talking about today is the 13th movie in our Infinity Saga gauntlet. It's Captain America: Civil War, and boy, what a movie. This one was directed by Dan and Anthony Russo, and it came out in 2016. Boy, what a movie.
One of my faves, for sure. No doubt.
For sure. So much happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mission Report, December 16th, 1991.
I mean, in the conception or the formula, it's about turning our allies against each other. So, like, right there, we're going to get personal feelings and learn a lot more about our heroes and what drives them.
And we're going to
fantastic.
Have them butt heads a lot more and have conflicting ideals. Oh, it's great. It's so good.
I like how when they open up, it's how they're training Scarlet Witch. It's kind of subtle, but it's obvious. There's kind of a mentorship going on with by Captain America and Scarlet and Black Widow.
Yeah.
And explaining how to do things.
How to be an espionage master.
Right. So I really dig it that they went through and showed that she's in training.
Yeah.
Okay. But given her noob status, maybe she shouldn't be active at this point.
Well, I mean, her powers, though. She's OP.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's got to probably go through a lot of scenarios, because I'm just saying, I think obviously it's probably a little bit premature for her to go.
Yeah.
Because we see the result of this scene. She deflects an explosion into the sky, which they even set up. It was her go-to move. She uses it earlier in the movie. In this
In the
training
Saga?
scene.
Oh, in the
In this training scene.
oh
in this
yeah,
movie.
she throws the gas out of the building up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's set up that it's it's been a move that's been working for her, and it's easy for us as viewers to understand why she assumed that she could make that same move again, and obviously it did not.
Backfires big
Yeah.
time.
No, yeah, I'm just saying it's a good gift from the movie makers to the viewers because they get to think about this,
Yeah, I like that they're incorporating everybody together. Like, yeah, they're all on the same side now. So obviously they're not just going to be sitting at home like playing Call of Duty or whatever. they're gonna be honing their skills. And we learn quickly in the beginning of this movie that they're hunting. What's his name? Rumlow. Yeah, but his
Crossbones or something.
Crossbones. Yeah, that's it. Crossbones. Yeah. So they're hunting the guy that they dropped a building on his face in Winter Soldier.
He deserved it.
He did. He's an asshole.
Yeah, he had already turned.
Yep. But boy, does he look cool.
Yeah.
Now I totally get the cosplaying as military when I saw this guy, because first of all, it's cool. He's got a mask over his mask. That's cool. And then when he gets both masks off, he's got the face of a villain. He's all burn scarred. And do they throw Captain America around in this fucking movie?
Oh yeah. Oh, when he falls off the building, he just kind of like tumbles down. Oh man,
he tumbles down, and then Wanda throws him into the building. Sam launches him into the truck. Like,
yeah,
they kind of.
Oh my God.
They're training together. Obviously, they're learning how to use Captain as a fucking bowling ball or a cannonball.
Yeah. Well, and another thing I want to point out about this accident is I really like how this movie points out that superheroes can make accidents, but not go like full like Zack Snyder or The Boys, like with, they're freaking crazy, but more of, they're trying to help, but their powers caused a different type of terrible.
Yeah. Some use the phrase vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I do remember we were tracking was if General Ross was what would become Colonel Ross, or what is he? He's like a senator now or some shit.
Yeah, he's Secretary of Defense.
Secretary of Defense. So, and it is the same guy. That's confirmed. I know it's the same actor, but they use the same name. They use Ross.
Yeah, Thaddeus Ross.
Yep.
Played by William Hurt.
Yep. So he is the same. Was a general in the army hunting the Hulk. He obviously got promoted for losing the Hulk, but he now runs the whole State Department.
Well, he also probably in the MCU probably has something to do with maybe influencing, now that Disney owns X-Men, Weapon X, and that whole stuff. He's probably involved in
some of the mutant testing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what his interest was with Hulk, is he wanted to capture him and turn him into a super soldier. That was the whole plot of that, is he was working with he had the chemical that gives the others.
Yeah, they're trying to recreate the super soldier serum that made Captain America.
Right. Man, there's nothing more I like seeing than Captain America in hand-to-hand combat in this MCU.
It's so
Jesus.
Good.
Yeah, right? Every time. And, I got to say, Rumlow is a really awesome collateral damage villain. You know what I mean? Like, he was originally S.H.I.E.L.D. He then turned Hydra with his skepticism, and I think he probably had a growing hatred of how much Captain America is loved by everybody.
Yeah.
He didn't ever have to make the hard choice or whatever, or maybe he, calls him out on some of the terrible choices he makes or whatever, or makes him feel guilty because of it. But he was a good guy, driven to betray our country, and now he's doing a suicidal bombing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quite literally.
Driven by hate.
By hate. Yeah. And like you said, Wanda's trained to throw him up, and I thought it was cool that right before he kills Captain America by distracting him with Bucky's name, she traps the explosion in a little bubble around him. So he's literally just basically burning alive.
Yeah.
Stuck in place. Yeah, like basically stuck exploding until she releases him.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. A couple of things I and only a couple of things I took issue with the whole movie, and we'll get to them later. But we also get introduced to a seed that gets planted for the last movie in this Infinity Saga, which is the, what do you call it? Biometric. He called it biometric augmented reality. Yeah, something. He uses Jake Gyllenhaal. He uses Jake Gyllenhaal's technology to create
Mysterio. Right.
Mysterio, thank you, to create a therapeutic device. So we get to see a young Howard Stark. Oh, yeah, not young. An alive Howard Stark and a weirdly digitally recreated Robert Downey Jr.
That John Stark is John Slattery. He's been the Howard Stark since Iron Man 2.
Yeah, they finally stuck with him.
On top of Captain America's martial arts, also in that shell game scene, we see Scarlet Witch. It's not Scarlet Witch. Scarlet. How you did your thing?
Black Widow.
It's Black Widow.
Scarlett Johansson.
taking on 3 guys at once and kicking their ass.
Oh man, yeah, she dominates those guys.
And that's I learned in the review here that that her stunt woman, the lady who does a lot of the hard martial arts and probably falls and such, is Heidi Moneymaker. Is a cool name, right? And
her name's actually Heidi Moneymaker.
Right?
That's awesome.
Right? And she actually later in this movie, when we see the 5 of the super soldiers in the chamber, she plays super soldier number 3. So
cool.
Obviously, right? Exactly. So she Heidi Moneymaker gets to make her own scene.
That's awesome. So she got to be the stunt double for Scarlett Johansson, and she got to be her own stunt double as. That's awesome.
Yeah, she just got to play and get a scene as Super Soldier number 3. I don't she doesn't give a name.
No, she doesn't. But she kicks a lot of ass. There's a few scenes where they show her dominating the Russian things. Yeah. So we get a lot of Moving on. We get a lot of exposition very quickly. Pepper Potts isn't in the scene right now. Yeah, they are.
They're split up.
They're split up. A woman immediately blames Tony.
Gives him a lot of guilt.
So now we're setting the scene for the Sokovia Accords, which Tony, through his guilt, probably goes to the State Department and tells them that he wants to be held accountable. And I'm sure the governments of the world, after the fiasco in, where were they? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter right now. They get called out by the world and the world's governments.
Right. And the speech from Ross, saying that it's a weird speech. I gotta say, he says, of course you guys fight, every day to save and defend and help us, no doubt. And he even says we owe you an unrepayable debt.
Yep.
Okay. And then, most people see you as heroes. There are some who call you vigilante. And then he goes into this big, look at all of your failures, guilt chain.
And none of them seemed like failures to me.
right.
It was just like alternate footage. They're victories.
The bringing down of the airships, the SHIELD airships that had gone Hydra, as Captain America had uncovered the plots that you have somehow been ignorant of and saved your ass from sky bullets. But
sky bullets.
Yeah, because they were going to target and shoot a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. We're going to predict
other government official was going to take this, but no, Avengers, thankfully, without having to be in the chain of command of corruption or whatever, was able to rout out and clear that evil. The other one was the Sokovia. Sokovia, I can maybe understand the dropping of the city. The enemy Ultron,
that you can blame wholly on Iron Man. Yeah,
it's hard not to. Yeah, as I've said before, he was inspired by a Scarlet Witch enhanced vision, but we also talked, it was basically just revealing them their truths. Scarlet Witch wasn't in the crafting process, was just
she's just
with an outcome. basically like make them feel doubt is
Yeah.
basically what she cast or something. But it's because of that he's driven to do the Ultron thing. So I don't
That's
know.
pretty much the only one I'll give Ross a pass on is
Right.
Sokovia, because yeah, like you said. But I mean, the aliens coming through the wormhole at New York, okay, not their fault.
Yeah.
Like you said, the whole fucking government being corrupt. Yeah, that's
not their fault.
not
That's
their
on
fault.
you fuckers.
That's on you
Yeah.
guys.
So absolutely, during the speech, as me, I felt like I would have lots of arguments, and none of these guys should just be silent and just waiting for him to tell his speech. You'd be like, "Well, what the fuck? How
Yeah.
about, you know what? Next time you're a government, you fucking people are gonna unleash the sky bullets upon criminals just because you think that they're gonna be fucking bad later." Sure. Then
We'll just
fine.
let
See
that
ya.
happen. And
I'm moving to Wakanda. Fuck
Yeah.
all y'all. Fuck off.
I'm hiding
I'm
under
Captain Wakanda now.
Captain Wakanda. I'm fighting alongside Black Panther. That's right. I'm the sidekick.
Right? I think you would love it.
He probably would. They'd be fighting. They'd be
A
like
lot of pressure relief.
Batman and Robin, but Wakanda style.
Right?
I want to do.
That'd be unstoppable.
I want to see. I really liked Black Panther, but I feel like I want to see more of their technology. I want to like go on the streets of Wakanda and see what that shit is like, because the in the background the city looks so cool. It's like a cool blend of natural, what's the word, like recyclable, not recyclable, you know what I mean, like green, like all their buildings had like trees on them and they were open air, and yeah, it just
natural resources or natural yeah, absolutely, I know what you're talking about. It looked natural yet futuristic too.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get to that movie. I love that movie.
Which I imagine really cool. Like, I mean, vibranium is basically unobtainium, and it's
unobtainium.
Right. It's basically saying that, if a scientist had some inspiration or goal and was so driven with enough backstory, he can say, "I made vibranium able to shift you through walls," or it could merge to your skeletal system,
I can make
whatever.
A shield out of it. I can make a maglev train out of it. I can
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
let's make
swords.
Like T'Challa's sister, I'm not sure her name at this point, but it seems like T'Challa's sister is like the Tony Stark of Wakanda.
Oh yeah, why didn't you just read whatever the things?
Yeah, by instead of
sequentially, instead of whatever. And he's like,
because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything to do with it. Thor barged in the fucking room and shot lightning at the guy. We didn't really have anything to do with it, lady.
Yeah. Ask the god.
Ask the god of thunder. But yeah, so back to Civil War. We discover that back in December 16, 1991.
And the whole Nero Zemo guy.
Zemo, yeah, he's such. I loved him all the way until the very, very end.
When he was gonna take his own life, yeah. Spoilers, but yeah. I do agree that, but I'm glad that they didn't let him.
Me too.
They said we're not done with you yet. Those that are living aren't done with you yet.
Yeah.
I like that because we could use more of him. But it's Zemo. Like I like the concept of the guy who could take, can plot the feelings out of all the primary heroes and play them against each other. It's
so good.
Marvel's version of Lex Luthor or something.
Oh yeah.
And looking up on Wikipedia, confirms as much. He's like very intelligent. I think he's just a regular human that's super intelligent.
Yeah, he's I think he was a military strategist for the Sokovia army or something like that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be really smart in hand-to-hand combat. He's supposed to be really capable at that in the comics. I mean, I don't know how much. I think enough of it showed in here. I mean, he beat up that other spy when he busted in his house, and it was a really cool story of I crashed into your car. Hey, I'd like to take care of this without calling the cops. But
he
can do that too.
Hell yeah, he got in there really good.
It's a very cool spy move, In the comics later on, he puts on a purple mask, and the mask has like circuitry that his intellect grants him. Oh,
Zemo?
it's
The Zemo
Zemo.
guy? Huh.
Yeah, and he has like white eyes and he wears a purple mask and like a crown like thing. Um,
That's kind of
but
cool.
it's kind of like Doctor Doom like in that sense
That's what I
because
was thinking of.
the
Just like
mask,
Doctor Doom.
right? It prevents psionic disruptions and mind reading,
Ah.
and then there's moonstones that are on his crown like thing that grant him like a lot of stuff like flight.
Oh wow. So he
Yeah,
uses magic and technology in the
right.
comics.
Right, similar to Doctor Doom. That's exactly how Doctor Doom
That's awesome.
was in the comics,
I'm
I
glad.
believe.
I like how they grounded him in this one. They just, like you said, they made him like a super genius strategist,
Right,
able
with
to. What does he
a
say?
grudge again.
Is it empire? What? I forget how he says it. But you take down an empire by taking it down from the inside, basically.
Right.
Which is so cool. Like you said, he plotted out how they would feel. Some of the things I don't really think that he could have predicted.
Right. Yeah. No.
Like,
It's.
I mean, the timing of some of the stuff, like the delivery of the EMP to the power facility, and him. How did he get in there to interview him in the first place? But that I'm jumping ahead. Yeah, there's just a few plot holes with his
Sure.
his
No.
plan.
No doubt there.
But it's still cool.
I mean,
it's still
better
fucking
than
awesome.
Captain America talking to this one person and then later in the middle of a freaking freeway.
Yeah. all of a
Climbing
sudden,
a ladder.
all of a sudden climbing a ladder onto a fucking freeway. Yeah.
Who has a fucking ladder leading to a freeway ramp?
How did you get there so fast? You can't run that quickly. But yeah, so we get a divided team. They divide.
Sure.
So he comes in, he shows them their errors, and they immediately start disagreeing on it. I immediately sided with Captain America, personally. He makes a good point. The safest hands are still their own, and agendas change. What if they don't? What if the UN decides something else? So,
I mean, and I could see that Tony Stark is, I mean, maybe he's not boldly saying it, but maybe he's dealing with guilt from the Ultron thing and thinks that, yeah, maybe if I was being told what to do, I could, not be blamed for what happens. Then, it's not me who's making it. I mean, I could see how Tony could be making this choice, but I could absolutely see how Captain America would never.
oh yeah,
So yeah, it's a brilliantly contrived, and I mean, it is the meat of like if you watch the Amazon show Boys or Watchmen, the meat of superheroes and how they relate to our world, our nations, and can they just do what they want, or are they under somebody who is able to grant them the permission to do what their powers can grant them?
yeah.
It's crazy and complicated in the thought, and if there was a true life Avengers thing and there was some guy who could fly like Thor or an android who was built like Vision,
Yeah.
that would, I would think, send a lot of people into just paranoid freaking.
Oh yeah.
There'd be people who are just too paranoid to exist in a world that they have a fucking literal invisible person or something.
I always try to imagine like people that live in Clark Kent's universe or Superman's universe, the truly like religious, hardcore, God fearing people. How do they feel about Superman?
Right.
How do they handle a being that is apparently the perfect man, on Earth because of the sun's solar rays and whatever. But according to some guy who's maybe never stepped out farther than his church or his house, he might not be so gracious in accepting Superman as some sort of all-in-one savior. That's definitely a really good.
Well, I mean, not only is this this being who looks like a human but is obviously not one of what we know as humans, he even says that he's from an alien planet,
Yeah,
Krypton.
yeah, exactly.
So how could we be the fucking chosen ones? And this fucking
I didn't even think about that. That's fucking true. Yeah, like
we're from here. And
we are God.
Fly?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you on that, God? And you say we could fly.
You created us in your image, my ass. You created him in your image.
Right, exactly.
Oh yeah, that's fucking true. But
Yeah,
but
I'd feel gypped.
I would feel jaded as hell towards Superman if he was real.
As enter Lex Luthor, enters Zemo. Yeah, absolutely. That's understandable, and I love it.
Yeah, and it's really great. I know who is it? Martin Scorsese said these aren't cinema. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you, man. I can feel how I want to feel. Martin Scorsese makes great movies. I feel a certain way when I watch those movies. I watch Marvel movies. I feel a certain way when I watch Marvel movies. I can.
How about this, dude? Name another instance in cinema where movies have a 25 movie support structure.
Yeah,
that's a series. That's no longer, I think, movies as we're used to it. It is a event, right? Like I don't know. It is not a, you can't, there's Jaws 6 or whatever, and nobody cares about Jaws 2 through 6.
Police Academy 9.
Right. The first one is usually the good one, and at that, what I'm saying? It's all right at that, especially in retrospect.
I'm just saying it's definitely a modern, a more modern thing. Agreed.
Yeah.
Serialized movie telling. I completely agree. Yeah. I would also say that shouldn't discredit them from making me feel certain feelings about certain characters that, you might not be able to sit through Infinity War and feel the same way you do had you not watched the 20 movies prior to it. But, I don't know.
Well, the thing is,
you could still be invested.
In a movie, 15 movies in, you get the benefit of potentially seeded backstory. Not potentially. You get the benefit of seeded backstory. Whether you're in the, if you're going to be in the universe, then the viewers who are a fan of the previous 14 are already going to know the general time and place where you're at and what has gone on in the time around you. That's what being in universe is. You get that as a bonus character in your plot.
Yeah, your backdrop.
Right. And and because of that, you could feel intense emotions watching a season finale of a show because it's been established by 10, 12 movie episodes prior of build-up. It's just you have more to work with you have more time in a serial set of movies than you could ever dream of taking up in a classic cinema
2 hour
piece,
15-minute movie. Yeah,
right. I think that's generally what Scorsese was saying. It's just generally a different class. I don't think he would say he wouldn't enjoy it. He doesn't think that genuine emotion is portrayed. It's just hard to compete with a movie 20 movies in of an established story.
Yeah, I could side
with
that.
The writer doesn't have to work as much.
Yeah.
The writers just don't have to work as much.
No, that's totally true. I can side with that. All right. You swayed me.
It's just a point of view.
That's it's a fair point. I mean, you're right. You don't have the established, like you said, backstory and all that. Yeah, I mean, you can't pull out like Age of Ultron and be like, yeah, this is a standalone.
Weigh that against anything that
any standalone movie period.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, look at a movie like Fight Club. You get a
right.
plot, setting, introduction, and then you have your conflict.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and then you reveal at the end, and that's an entirely different investment.
That's all I think Scorsese is saying is it's not exactly in the same league as what he's doing. It's hard to say that the Infinity War movie is better than
Titanic.
Right, exactly.
Or,
you know what I mean?
Insert a movie title here.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I think it could only be compared against itself amongst other movies in its serial nature, or if like DC or any other
God.
Cinematic universe ever succeeds. It doesn't look like it is
No,
going to.
Marvel's definitely got the monopoly on cinematic universes.
Right?
DC's got the cartoon universe, but they're not all interconnected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But anyway, this great movie, Captain America: Civil War. Oh man, is it great! What was the last thing we were talking about with this movie?
We just skipped kind of past the death of Maggie Carter, which is what broke up the big debate amongst the Avengers. Captain America gets a text and just says, "I gotta go."
Yes.
So Maggie Carter's death brings on at the funeral meeting the niece of Maggie Carter. With that, she says, she's on his side and helps him with like getting his uniform, or I think that's later. I'm not sure, but
yeah, that's later. She for now is just letting them know that she what does she tell them in the speech? That no matter how many people tell you that you're wrong, you plant your feet in the ground like a tree and you say no. And so that basically affirms in Captain America's mind that he is, and in my opinion, it was kind of like a metaphorical, I guess, him hearing
passing the torch.
Yeah, passing the torch. Him hearing her speech kind of made him double down on his decision not to sign the accords and give up his freedom to be the righteous hand that he needs to be. She unfortunately passes away, Miss Peggy Carter. And immediately following that,
Romanov,
the gang heads to Switzerland. Yeah, Romanov and the gang to sign the accords. And after the funeral, she tells Cap that Barnes retired, Scarlet Witch is TBD, Vision signed, Tony signed, Rhodes signed. I think that's all she mentions. But she basically lets them know what's what with who.
Right.
And then poor T'Challa's dad dies.
During
the signing.
T'Challa, full Black Panther power somehow. He's able to being the Black Panther for a while on the down low while his dad's still alive.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I didn't pick that up the first time, but apparently, the Black Panther, he was originally already the Black Panther, but now he's also king.
Which is weird. That's not how it works, but whatever.
Yeah, well, he wasn't... Frickin' dad wasn't supposed to be blown up by Zemo.
Wakanda has a great bureaucracy. They can figure that shit out. I do really love when the police are all zoning in on Bucky, and Captain America gets in there just beforehand, tries to say, like, hey, man, this is going to all turn to shit. Please come with me. Let's go. Like, I can help you. And then it all goes to shit. And yeah, it leads into a really awesome chase scene. One of the better I've seen. I really love seeing those dudes running like comparably fast as cars.
Fast, in some cases faster than some of the traffic. Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 That's insane.
But
awesome to see.
All of the quick thinking in the apartment too by Captain America and Bucky. Like, yeah. And Bucky basically going a lot harder on the soldiers than Captain America maybe would have wanted.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, he stops him a couple times from like dropping people to their death and shit. But yeah, it's it was fucking cool. Bucky uses his arm to stop bullets a couple times, and he throws the shield a couple times. Like, yeah, I mean the Russo brothers, man. Those guys,
really good.
Yeah, I know they cut their teeth on TV, but they definitely brought the paintball episodes of Community to life.
We get to see the Dean.
Yeah, that's right. The Dean is in this one. I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
he's a local celebrity.
Dean Force. He's Dean Force down or something like that. Actually, I just watched the season finale of or the series finale for Community. So
what series?
It's a bit of
the series finale.
Yeah, series finale. It's a bit of a tearjerker. Yeah, but it's good.
Come on.
I can't count the reasons I should stay. Yeah, it's a good show.
But yeah, dude, I loved right before yeah, the fucking motorcycle grab is so cool.
Yeah, that's next level.
So during the chase scene, like you were describing, there's a moment in this German underpass when Bucky jumps down into the street and in traffic, and when he does, he bounces left, realizes that he's going against traffic, and then bounces right and immediately starts running like a leopard. Like, I don't know, it was just a really
just leopard run.
Yeah, it was so cool. He didn't do a superhero land where he goes to the knees. He just kind of daintily landed, started to run one way, and was like, nope, and then woof, he was gone off the other way entirely. It was it was awesome.
Yeah, it is a crazy intense scene. And
and then Captain America running out of a fucking rolling car.
Yeah, man. Nice level. All to make a tackle on Black Panther.
All to make that play. Yeah, dude.
Always going to save Bucky no matter what. He's with it to the end of the line. I'm tearing him.
Hey, I'm with you to the end of the line. As he's beating the shit out of him with a metal arm.
Yeah, right? Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's our first new character introduction is this chase scene, Black Panther.
Yep.
I remember being in theaters going, "What?"
He takes off his helmet and reveals that he is the King T'Challa, or not the king, soon to be appointed King.
Yep.
T'Challa.
Your Majesty. And he takes the helmet off. Yeah, everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And all the police are like, "Can we even arrest this guy?" I mean, he's like,
get to their knees and shit.
Yeah, he's like a king. I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, so they take him. They take him down to.
They catch him.
They take him down to a big, secure, safe facility that it takes Zemo zero effort to get into.
Yeah. was apparently already employed at.
Yeah, right? He's a long-term psychologist there. No worries.
But a lot of really cool back and forth quips, you know. I better not see anybody flying around those wings. She's like, "Oh, don't worry. They're the property of the governments. They're going to go in storage." And he says that's cold. And Tony Stark, without skipping a beat, turns around and goes, "Warmer than jail." Because technically they're all fucking fugitives now.
Right?
But poor Bucky, he probably felt like a piece of meat just carrying him around by fork truck in a fucking
right. In a fucking glass cube.
Yeah. So what am I, a fucking chia pet?
Chair. Yeah, right.
Poor guy.
How's he gonna eat?
Yeah, right? Who's gonna feed that guy? I'm not going in there. He's going to bite me, sir.
Yeah, right? Also, earlier when we saw Black Panther kind of hand-to-handing with Bucky, isn't Bucky's arm made out of vibranium?
No. So that's... No, not yet. So that's...
right.
That's not until later. And that's why I was like, man, his arm is consistently overpowered. Like, after Winter Soldier... where he was OP, that arm doesn't seem to do shit anymore. Multiple times in this movie, people grab his fist and turn it away, and he's like, "What the fuck? My arm!" But yeah, it's definitely not vibranium.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's that Soviet stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, oh man, when Peter Parker does it.
Yeah, you have a metal arm? That is so cool, dude.
I'll say it again, though. It bothers me, the idea that just this dude's arm is... I mean, it's got to be strongly, structurally bonded to his skeleton. But then, like, he shouldn't have, like the ability to handle the bar, grab that bike. The momentum of that bike would yank a human off of his feet, and he would be flying with the bike that he grabbed if he'd ever let go. He would be pulled right alongside it. He would not just be able to plant his feet and hook a freaking motorcycle. I mean, I get the arm is strong, and if the arm was braced to something, and then he was to curl the bike, and I could see that. Sure, I'd be impressed with a hydraulics or whatever you have mechanically working that arm, but against his skeleton, his human skeleton, it would rip. It's a 600-pound thing no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. But one can make the argument, though, that he's got the super soldier serum in him, so there's probably something at play there.
That's true. I always think that I don't take that into play as often as I should.
Yeah, yes, I consistently forget that he's a super soldier because he, fell to his death.
Right. I just didn't know. I mean, it's not as I can't imagine it's as successful of a version as what was provided Captain America. I think Captain America's what happened to Captain America represented like ideal circumstances. That being like that chamber built by the guy who knows how the chemical's working, and then Howard Stark was able to pump a whole bunch of power into the chamber, which where that went or what that did, other than maybe building physical body mass, maybe that was it. I don't think the super soldiers were as Captain America is.
No, I don't believe they were either. Because when he did take it, when he grabbed that super soldier serum from Howard Stark, it was only 4 of those little packets. And if you remember from Captain America: The First Avenger, they lost the formula with the Doctor, so it probably wasn't the exact formula.
Right.
But as Bucky says, like right in the middle of this movie, these guys, he said, like, they speak X languages, they can kill, they can destabilize nations, and he's like, and that was before they had the super soldier serum. So So Bucky's probably, I'd say, like, if Cap is a 10 with strength and agility and all that stuff, I'd put Bucky at like 9.1 or like 8.9.
Right.
Somewhere, something like that.
I agree.
Yeah. But when you give him the vibranium arm, I'd put him up at like
10 to 10. That's why they're kind of equally matched when they fight.
Yep.
He's got a metal arm, and Captain America's got the fucking goody two-shoe spirit.
He's got the righteous spirit.
Right.
So they killed
the emergency lighting as he reads the dramatic 19 freight car.
Yeah, that's the last word he said, I think, is freight car.
Pancake sandwich.
So yeah, I could just
Hasselhoff.
I could just name a bunch of words in a row too.
Oscar Mayer.
I liked
sponsors. We'll take your sponsorship, Oscar Mayer. We love the wieners.
I'm gonna take that clip out of context and put it everywhere. Said I love wieners. You heard him say it here.
I think I said we.
Nope. I can splice together an I. Yeah, so Zemo somehow gets into the facility, somehow gets his code, or I know how he gets the code book. He gets it from that Russian guy at the beginning of the movie. Was
able to give him new orders.
Yes.
And now he's programmed to do a mission, and he has to complete it no matter what.
Oh, so I guess he's not overpowered at that point when he's fighting plain Jane T'Challa.
Speaking of at Captain America's level, T'Challa with the purple juice and the full pack Black Panther spirit is basically at Captain America's level, which is crazy. I'm just saying, like,
the purple flower thing.
Yeah,
that's just pretty whack, yo.
Like, they notably are the same in hand-to-hand combat, the same abilities, the same quickness, the same speed, strength potential.
Oh yeah,
they're just top of everything.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there thinking, like, when he's chasing him in traffic and shit, how the fuck is T'Challa keeping up with traffic? Like, it can't all be the suit. That shit's the suit's got to be heavy in and of itself, but apparently vibranium is not that heavy.
He's got to have the purple juice if he's keeping up.
Beefcake.
The beefcake scene. Yeah, this the scene with the helicopter is
it's my favorite.
It is absolutely like the most memed from the movie. But Bucky just takes a full 3 seconds
to look at
admiring,
him bite his lip and everything.
admiring Captain America's ability to withhold the helicopter's ability to leave until Captain Bucky says, like, I'm going to have to go to murderous rage, and I'll crash the helicopter into Captain America then.
Yeah.
Which leads to them falling entirely off of the helipad and into the water.
And then now it's Cap's turn to save Bucky from the water. Yay!
They're such nice guys. Such friends.
The best of friends. That was enough to knock his memory out. And then he wakes up, a couple scenes later in the, what do you call it? Vice, I don't know what you'd call that. Like a hydraulic press to keep his arm down.
Yeah.
So he wakes up from the helicopter crash with Captain America with Sam Wilson and Captain Rogers as his prisoner, and he's all good now. He doesn't remember he even says, like, what did I do? And
right.
He
just knew he was out.
Yep. Captain's like, yeah, you did a lot of bad stuff, buddy. Did a lot of bad stuff.
And he looked down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, and this is all, all of his susceptibility to doing this stuff. Captain America can obviously tie back to the time that he didn't keep his friend Bucky safe in Captain America 1. It's I'm with you to the end of the line, and shit gets complicated, and you can be put into situations in which you're it's outside of your control, and you're in the wrong place, and it's friends like you and me that will always be able to bring each other back.
You're my best friend,
right? Support each other well. I mean, I don't know, like they're almost like they're foils for each other, I guess. I mean,
I'd agree with that, because I don't know. I just like the symbolism of like you said. I mean, they're in it for the long haul, and the first time he says, "Let's," I'm with you till the end of the line, and then that's in the flashback of First Avenger, is Bucky saying it to Cap, and then at the end of that movie, Cap is saying it to him as Bucky's literally beating him within the inch of his life. Then he still drags him out of the water after knowing all this stuff, and then in this movie they kind of tie it all back together with him tearing him out of Cap, tearing him out of the water after their plane crash, after another scuffle. So yeah,
right.
They
they do
intertwine their little stories perfectly. But this movie's a long one, and we're coming up on about 50-ish minutes here.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming up about halfway point in discussing the movie. So I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think it's a good place to give our listeners a pause. I think I'm really excited about the scenes that are coming up that we'll get started with the super soldiers of the Soviet side. When that opening scenes, that was one of my favorite scenes of this movie. I'm excited to talk about it, and we'll get there.
Yes,
soon.
We're gonna get there next time. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut it this now, because this will be another hour-long discussion just for the second half of the movie. A lot of shit happens.
We can talk about all the setups too for the movies to come.
Yes. So, thank you for sticking around. I am Dan S, as in science.
I'm Dan F, as in fictional.
And we're going to come back to Captain America Civil War next time. Thank you so much for listening. Boo!
Boop.